Okay, we're here with Dennis Crooks. Dennis, this is a beautiful biplane. Tell me a little bit about it.
Oh, this is a kit manufactured by Balsa USA in the States. It's a Fokker D7 to be exact, 47 pounds, powered by a Quadra 100. That's a 6 cubic inch engine. Believe it or not, it's a fairly responsive airplane for a World War I.
What's the reason for this type of pattern?
I can't give you a good reason for the lozenge pattern. You would think it, is somewhat of a camouflage, but on the other hand, I'm not sure with the red and blue and the white that the Germans were terribly interested in camouflage. This may have been a little bit more on the intimidation level than the camouflage.
Yeah, you coming and you're in trouble.
Exactly.
The turns and everything with the guns, was that very innovative for the Germans to have a dual turn in their front?
I believe it was the Germans that invented the interrupter gear that would allow the guns to shoot through the propeller. So yeah, they were quite innovative in that fashion. Some of the previous World War I type airplanes would have the guns actually mounted on the upper wing so they could shoot over the propeller as opposed to shooting through the propeller.
Yeah. Looking at the wing design, this is to me it looks very unique.
Yeah, I have a degree in aerodynamics. I can't really explain why they would put the ailerons, extend them beyond the wingtip. There might have been a little bit more of an effectiveness there. There is such a thing as a wingtip vortex, but I would be tempted to think that was purely for style, just to give the airplane some character. I can't think there was any aerodynamic benefit to that. It gave the airplane a unique appearance. I would guess the tail is pretty much a straightforward standard issue tail for an airplane of this era. Typically, the larger the tail area, the more stable the aircraft. So, the horizontal stabilizer is perhaps a little bit oversized. The rudder, on the other hand, is slightly smaller.
Now, once again, the intimidation with the snake?
I would guess so, that whether or not that was a particular design for this pilot, I believe it was. And then, the color scheme happened to depict the squadron.
By the way, to mention, folks, that Dennis is a 6-time North American champion in the U.S. What did it take to get into that, very high ranking and winning championships in the U.S.?
Well, I've been doing this for about 35 years now, and most of that time I've been doing scale modeling. It just requires a significant determination, particularly for scale competition, obviously where they're judged. You need to be able to duplicate the full size fairly accurately, and then be able to fly the model in a prototypical manner on top of that. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's always a certain luck factor that enters into competitions. If you have the good flight in front of the good judges and so have you.
Now, the weather conditions, there's many different factors.
By all means. For the most part, I've been flying a Lockheed P-38, and it's been a very good airplane for me. And of course, it's a twin-engine tricycle, and it handles conditions very well, as far as crosswinds, gusty winds, or no wind.
Well, Dennis, thanks a lot. Beautiful biplane. Thanks, Dennis.
Now it's time for the big boys with cool toys tech tip of the week.
I'm here today with Alex Morgan. Alex, how you doing, buddy?
How's it going?
Big boys and cool toys, right? Great store. Now, what I want to know is when people are first starting out in RC, what type of plane should they get into?
Definitely a starter plane, probably a foamy or ready to fly, so you don't have to engineer and put everything together. Something that comes prefabricated, radio, battery, preferably electric, so you don't have to worry about the gas. Something that's an above wing, not a low wing like a P-51 Mustang. Those are more for aerial moves and 3D moves. You don't want to start with something like that. You want to start with like a Cessna plane, something that's easier, that will glide a lot easier with landing and takeoffs.
So like a Cub, a Super Cub,
yep,
those type of planes.
Yep.
How long would it take you to gravitate to the next level to get into something that maybe you have to build or a gasser?
That all depends on the time really that you put into the hobby, but some people only do it on the weekends once a month. A lot of people get into the simulators. Simulators are great for tricks and learning, but to get the real hands-on, to buy a foam plane, go out to a park and just practice yourself.
Well, that's what it's all about, folks. Go to the local hobby stores, talk to them, see what you can start with, you know, and budget-wise, you don't want to be spending a lot because for sure, you know, if you do crash a foamy, it's not too much to repair. But once you get into the more advanced planes, go out, join a local club, get a buddy box, right, with another guy, and he'll take you up, he'll show you how to land and everything. Well, thanks a lot, Alex. Great tip today.